A very good evening to everyone. This is again Muhammad Shakir Ibrahimi. Today we'll discuss about principles of management, lecture number 5. In this session, you will be studying about different theories of management, and then you will get to know about the classical management theories. That main purpose today we'll discuss that as assumption of the classical theory, characteristics of the classical theory, and then we'll discuss the other theories in the next sessions. So you will get to know about these different things. What is development of management theory? Since day by day there is increase in the competitions, there is increase in the management system, upgradation of technology, and different other perspectives that leads to develop to make your organization industry a very competitive. So for that purpose we need to implement different theories to move ahead and to achieve a good organizational goals, organization vision, organization mission that we have, organization objectives that we have. For this purpose we are categorizing this theory of development of the organizations or development theory of management for the companies, for the organizations, into three categories. One is classical theory approach, which is more focused, more stress on the production and administrative process within organization. Second one is new classic theory, which more focus, more sound based on of human relation. And finally, the new thing which is make then third theory, which is modern approach, that is more focused on the social systems, decision and interactions, quantitative methods, not qualitative, right? So this is what the different types of theory that we have for the development of the organizations. So the very first one, the theory will discuss about classical management theory. In the classical management theory, if we can say that growth of the organization, growth of size of industries, since from the 19th century, second half of 19th century, it is going to be more competitive. More problems are there. So now technology is coming into the face. They're using new technology. They are making new system. They are implementing new system. For that purpose, they had made one a clear-cut strategy. That they said that humans, like organization is machine, and humans are the different parts of machines. So if we are working in the organization, so this organization is machine that we have. So how to achieve more productivity, how to minimize the cost, that is what it focuses under classical theory. So when we have staff, we have people who are working in our companies, who are working in our organizations. So these are the some components, some part of this machine that which work and they are want to produce. So more focus from input to output in the company. So how to emphasize this theory? Management is to emphasize improving of machinery in order to get higher productivity from people at minimum cost, minimum expenses. So here we are considering two aspects: input, which is coming to the organizations, we are making something and we will get the result, that is output. So how to get this output in the company in the sequence manner, in the good manner, that we should minimize the cost of the company and the expenses of the company. On other hand, we need to increase the output of the company, we need to increase the profit of the company, we need to increase the productivity of the company. So in this way, the efficiencies are very important for people who are working here. So if we want to maintain efficiency, that they have to make a good relation with the managers. So managers are those people who are working and controlling and providing other people. They are, if they are more efficient, so the productivity will be more good, more improve in the company, in the organizations. So this is what classical theory actually says, that we are applying classical theory, so the classical purpose is this one. Now, there are various assumptions under the classical theory which you are implementing, and that is the long-term or traditional theory which is called classical theory, and for this we have certain assumptions. The first thing, they made relationship between the worker and management was established through formal communication and formalized procedures and practices to minimize the conflict between them. Normally, in this theory, it says that we are working in the formal communications, in formalized in centralized system, very clear-cut policies, procedures that we have to make responsible. We have to make the chain of command between the people, though to decrease the conflict between these people, these staff of the organizations. So that is what it works. It implements that management are more focused on the decrease of the or minimizing the conflict. So by the way of centralized system, by the way of a clear-cut communication, formal communication which we should have. That is the very first assumptions for under this theory. The second assumption, it says that workers are considered to be driven by economic factor who can motivate basically by economic reward. Money is considered the main motivator. So if you're working in a company, if the employees are there, the staffs are there, and they are working in our organizations, so we have to motivate, right? How we should motivate the staff? By their payments, by providing an incentive, by economic rewards. That's having monetary value in any organizations. So that's what the second assumptions that we have under classical theory. The third one which we have, that managers are characteristic, and it is rational and kind-hearted, intelligent and qualified people who are working, who are dealing with the firm in the system. So it means the systems that we are defining, the managers that we are assigning, they should be characterized or a very kind-hearted people or very intelligent, and they should be qualified. If you are unqualified people that you are hiring, they cannot perform their work properly, they cannot control their skilled people, unskilled people and semi-skilled people. So as a manager, as a management part, so we have to need to know about that people who are hiring, people who are working in our organizations, people who are want to improve the organization, they should be qualified, they should be intelligent, they should be smart, they should be rational thinking people, and they should be kind-hearted people, right? So that is what the third assumptions that we have. The fourth one is the theory assumes that organization is a machine and people is the component of machines. So normally under the classical theory, it focuses that when we are working in any company, when we are working in any organizations, when we are working in any industries, right? So in that company, that since development after the half of 19th century, that people are working as a component of machines by the way of improvement of in technology, improvement in the technological perspective of the organizations. So they made that organization is machine, and these people who are working in the organization, they are the component of machines, and we are need to decrease, we are need to minimize the error, the problems which is happening in the organization. So for that purpose, we need to apply the same theory. That is what the decreasing of the error, deductions of error, and the correction of error if it is there between in the organization, between the staff, between the employees of this company. And the fifth assumption that says that this theory assumes that man is relative homogeneous and unmodifiable while designing their job and the picking in the extra pair of hands. So if you're working in an organizations, they're similar in nature. They are not different. So if you are hiring someone for that job, so that's suitable, we have to work with them. They should work, and we should make improvement in the productivity of the organizations. So that what we are having, and under this methods, that they are using centralized system for the formal communication in the organization, for the formal centralized system in the company, to decrease their conflict between the staff and the organization. So these are the various assumptions under the classical theory we had, and then what are the main characteristics of under this myth. The If we can say Scott McCall defined four main characteristics for the traditional theory. The very first one is division of labor. So they made a clear cut division of the labor. There should be top management, there should be under the top management there are middle level of manager, and then low level of manager, and under low there are some other people who work. So it means they made sub sections, parts, sections, and the overall who is the main person of the organization. So that is what important, who will work where. And then the next one is the skeletal and functional process. So made based on the functions before clear cut structures in this company. So for that purpose, that who is working under head of like VC of administrative, they should manage the procurement officer, they should have a control on over the financial officer, they should have control over the marketing officer, and they should have control over the operation manager and others. But if we are focusing from the academic perspective, like the academic VC, we can say that because it is really more related to academic performance, so they have to control the dean of the faculties, the administrative faculties, the student office and other things. So they have control over to that. That is what based on the skeleton functions or process which we have. And then we made, when we are applied this, so we made a clear cut structure in the organization. If we define this, that each and every organization should have a clear cut structure, so in this method then we can control the organizations. So span of control, so it means that their structure is maybe horizontal, it may be vertical, right? So we can make it in the these both system where it should be vertical or it should be horizontal. So which method, which structures we are applying in the company, so that is again important for the each and every organization. In the fourth one is span of control. So span of control is nothing but it is the control of your authority and responsibility. So giving authority and giving responsibility to people that will have a positive result in your company, in your organization. If you're giving some organizations responsibility and you will not give the authority to those people, so it means you cannot maintain a proper organizations, a good communications, a good system in the company, because people are accepting responsibilities, but if they don't have a authority, they cannot implement the decision and they cannot be work as a motivational environment in the company. So that for that purpose we need to have very clear span of control from top to lower level of management, top to bottom approach, or from top down or bottom up approach. So which approach we are using, so that is what important for each and every people in the organization to maintain, to improve the company performance, to improve the company productivity, and why that this how to implement based on these four characteristics in the company, in the organizations. Suppose you can see that Google, one of the example, see their structures, they are uncentralized structures, not centralized. And like go to see the Apple company, or we can say see the Microsoft company, right? Or other companies which we haven't. So they are more focusing on what? Centralized systems. For what purpose? There should be one person who is responsible for others. If some people are not, you are not maintaining span of control, or you can say if you are not maintaining chain of command in the organizations, so you cannot move in the right directions. People may be misuse of that same situations. So for that purpose, we are in need for it. We are need to improve. We are need to make a very clear cut system for these people, for this organization. That is what it has. So this is all for today, that we discuss about what is classical theory. That we said simple, we can conclude that in classical theory we are focusing more on the people and organization machine. People as part of machine, and where on the different assumptions we discuss in the today's session, and then we discuss about the apart from the assumptions, characteristics of the this traditional theory, which is division of the labor, scalar function of the organization, structure of the organization, and as well as the span of control. Hope you get something about this theory of traditional, and then we'll discuss in the coming session about the new classical theory, and as well about the modern approach of these theories that we have. So in case if you have any question, any query, any problem, so you can ask me through my YouTube channel as well as through my WhatsApp number groups. And thank you so much for watching.